Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. Today, I want to talk about signs the person you're dating or in a relationship is not into you, okay? And that it's time to let them go. So, I'm going to go through some signs that the person that you're, dating is not really into you and that you are wasting your time by staying with this person. All right. So let me go through the signs. All right. The first sign that tells you that you're wasting your time with somebody is when you deal with somebody who doesn't want to take you out on dates. Now, what I mean by take you out on dates is specifically, are they looking to go the cheapest way possible on you? Okay. Now, this isn't a matter of looking for somebody to spend money on you. This is a matter of how much do they care about you and want to make you happy. See, people that care about somebody, people that look at somebody as relationship material, will have no problem going out and spending money on a date if they have money to spend on a date. Okay? Or they'll make some kind of effort. Even if they don't have a lot of money, they will make some kind of effort. That could be going for a slice of pizza, something other than just hanging out, all right? Hanging out at your house or hanging out at their house. They're going to make an effort to do something outside the home, all right? Now, I know that's kind of difficult with quarantine going on, but if you're dating somebody, you shouldn't be rushing anyway and be, at their place or at your place, because then the relationship moves too fast, too quickly, and it burns out fast. And you want to see if this person is really into you, because in the beginning, like I tell you guys time and time again, you won't know. It's not, what they tell you. It's how, can they persist throughout the relationship. You can't tell what somebody's about the first 2 months. That's why you have to see, are they, in it or they're not in it? And the way you could tell is if they make an effort. What kind of effort is this person putting into you? Now, you have people that will waste your time. And, like I've told you guys before, they'll call you up. They may have downtime. They may have a lot of time. And you could be just a filler in their day. You could be one of many that they're contacting throughout the day. That doesn't mean that they are all into you. So that's why I'm telling you, look at how much effort they put into planning to do something with you. Somebody who cares about you will plan to take you out on a date. A guy that's just looking for a good time he's going to want to spend the least amount of money, okay? They look at women that they just want to have sex with. They do not want to spend a lot of money. They may take you out to dinner the first 2 times, the first 2 dates, maybe if you're lucky, maybe the first 3 dates. But after that, they're expecting something by the 3rd date, which is usually sex. So if you're dating someone, the way you could tell is this person continually looking to do things with you, okay? It could be anything. It could be take a bike ride. It could be, anything that's outside of an intimate setting. And they're consistent with it for a couple of weeks. That's somebody that, you keep around. But if you're dealing with somebody that's like, hey, what are you doing? You want to hook up? Let's link up. How about I come to your place or something like that? And they're making no effort to do anything with you. And they don't want to spend a dime on you. That's somebody who really doesn't care about you. Okay? That's somebody who's just looking to hang out. Okay? Now, the other thing is it's time to let go of somebody if you're dealing with them and you've gone out on a few dates with them and they never get personal with you. They never ask you any detailed personal questions about you. let's say every time you're with them, they're talking about themselves. They're always very self-absorbed, okay? And you sit there and you're polite and you're listening to their story and laughing, and they rarely ask you anything about yourself. They don't ask about your exes. They don't ask how long you've been single. They don't get in depth about your childhood or where you went to school, or they may ask these questions on the first date or something like that, but then that's it. Then everything is impersonal in conversation, and they never look to know who you are as a person. That is a red flag, you guys. That is somebody who really doesn't care. Now, the reason that I'm going through this list is because when you're dealing with these people, you have to let them go. Because the problem is, a lot of you keep these kind of people around, and then you wonder why they're not into you, okay? Or you say, oh, they showed me a lot of interest in the beginning, and why did they lose interest? Because their interest was never there. Because that was all an act. Because they were giving you an Academy Award presentation of pretending to want to try to get to know you, but that was only shown in the beginning. That's why I tell you, in the beginning, you're not going to know who this person is. You got to see, are they going to endure and continue and keep it up? The ones that don't care about you will not keep it up, you guys. Believe me when I tell you, they will not keep it up. It's too much work. People that care about you do not have a problem putting the work in. But people that don't care about you are not going to put a lot of work in, okay? Why are they not going to put a lot of work in? Because they're either not into looking for something serious, even though they may be telling you that, or they could be talking to other people, okay? So, these are things that you have to keep in mind. Or they're not that into you, okay? Or they're just, they just want to have fun. So here's the other thing. Another reason and that, you should not bother with somebody is the obvious one that we always talk about, is when they ghost on you. When somebody ghosts on you and disrespects you in that manner, you got to cut them loose, okay? You got to cut them loose. There is absolutely no excuse for that. That is like total disrespect, because you know what? They could give you a call, they could give you a text or anything like that. When they're not even making it, they don't think you're important enough to even say anything, even if they are going and seeing somebody else. Because usually when somebody's ghosting you, they're usually going to see somebody else. If they're not contacting you at all, that's a total disregard. They're playing you for a fool. And that's somebody that, is not really interested in you. And you got to let them go. Okay? Another sign that somebody is really not interested in you is that it takes them a while to get back to you when you call them or you text them, and they don't get back to you right away. See, that is a great indicator, you guys, of whether somebody really likes you. Somebody that likes you is going to get back to you right away. Now, some people play games and they may wait a day or something like that. That's why I always tell you, don't play games. Because once you play games, then the other person's going to play games, and then you play games back, and everybody loses. When you play games, everybody loses, because then eventually people lose interest and they say, you know what, you're playing games with me. I'm totally not bothering with you. Okay? Now, another thing that you need to keep in mind when you're dealing with somebody who really doesn't care about you is when they never talk exclusivity. In other words, you've been dating this person a couple months and you still don't know where you stand, okay? That is somebody who's going to waste your time. Point blank, period, all right? Somebody who likes you, who's into you, is going to progress to the next step. You're not going to sit in limbo. When you're dating these people that keep you, wondering, that's when you know that is a red flag that they're not all in. They're not that interested in you. Now, the thing that you got to keep in mind that I tell you guys over and over again is somebody may like you, but they like you for a particular reason. It's not for a reason of a relationship. It could be just that they're pretending that they want a relationship, but really what they're looking for is just a hookup now and then. So they're breadcrumbing you. They're stringing you along, okay? You have to set up that boundary and, you have to make it known, either we're progressing or we're not. Because if you don't do that, they will keep you floating forever and you are going to waste your time. Okay? Now, another sign that somebody really is not that interested in you is when they're selfish in bed. When you're dealing with somebody and you're at the point where you're having sex with them and they just totally don't care about, you being pleased in bed, that is somebody that could be self-absorbed, or that could be somebody who really doesn't care if you're satisfied. And, you have to assess, is this person, totally into themselves? Is that the reason? Or is this person not into me and doesn't care, and they're just looking to get off and they don't care about me? Okay, somebody that cares about you is going to want to please you. They want to make you happy. They want to please you. Okay, because when they make you happy, they make themselves happy. This is, one of the things you have to keep in mind. Now, another thing that tells you that somebody is not that into you is when they're not affectionate in the sense that, you're intimate with them or anything like that, and they don't want to cuddle with you. They don't want to put their arm around you. They're not, they're not looking to get close to you from an emotional standpoint. Now, some people will say, well, I know people that are like that, and that's just their personality. That may be their personality, but in the beginning, when the attraction is the highest, I've seen men that are not overly affectionate, through a relationship, but in the beginning, they did show signs of affection, okay? If you're dealing with somebody that is just looking to wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, okay? And they're not looking to lay next to you even in bed. Like after they have sex, they're kind of like on the other side of the bed and it's time to rush out, before it's even morning. You're dealing with somebody who's not into you, okay? That's another sign I need to bring up. If you're dealing with somebody and you're dating them and you're sleeping with them and that person is not, let's say you've been going out a couple times and everything and you're at the point where that person could spend, the next day with you or could spend the weekend with you and they keep making excuses why they can't, that is a red flag. That's a red flag because there could be somebody else that you don't know about. That's why they got to make feet before, 7 a.m. in the morning because they got to call, their old lady at home that you don't know about. Or it could be that they are not that into you and they don't want to give you that impression that, it's going to turn into anything more. So what they do is they float with you. Okay, they make up excuses. They'll say something like, oh, I have to get up early. I got to go to the car wash, or yeah, I want to go hit the gym first thing in the morning. And meanwhile, it's like, 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever. They make excuses. I got to help my mother out, paint her apartment. There's always an excuse, always an excuse. So if you're dealing with somebody like that, that is a red flag that that person does not want to get that close to you. And usually what happens to a lot of people is they end up sleeping with somebody. Then in the case of, I'm talking men to women now, it could go the other way or partner to partner. Then the next thing they do is they back off a little bit after they had sex and, you don't hear from them for a couple days and then they come back around. They wait a little bit. okay? Because they're pulling away a little bit because they don't want you to they're afraid that you're going to be clingy on them. And, maybe they're talking to somebody else now. They just had you. Now they want to, get it down with somebody else. And then they come back around and call you in 2 weeks or whatever. Okay. This happens a lot, you guys. You got to be aware of that. If you're dealing with somebody that, you're always not knowing, that is a red flag. That is somebody that's going to waste your time. Okay. That is somebody that's using you. All right, now another thing that I want to bring up is this. Another sign that somebody is really not that into you is that they don't care about your feelings. They don't care if you're sad. They don't care if you're upset, okay? Because, they may show you a little bit of sympathy, like, oh, I hope you feel better, but they're not offering or trying to make it better, or offering suggestions how to make you feel better if something's going wrong in your life and you share that with them. Somebody who's into you is going to want to make you feel better, okay? Emotionally. If you're going through a hard time or whatever, they're there for the long haul. They're not there just for the good times. They're there for the bad times. People that care for you are going to take the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? Now, when somebody is really into you, another thing that you need to keep in mind is they're going to be kind to you. And when I say kind to you, in other words, you may not feel you look good one day or something like that and be like, oh, I look horrible. And they might be like, oh, no, video chat with me or whatever. And you video chat with them and they tell you, oh, you do look good. What are you talking about? You look good and everything like that. That is somebody that's kind, that, likes you. All right. Unless it's somebody that's pretending. But I'm just saying in general. Now, if you're dealing with somebody who's with you for other reasons other than liking you and, wanting more than just a hookup with you, they may criticize you. They may make fun of you. Oh, why do you have that shirt on? Or start laughing or look at your hair or something and put you down in some way. Okay? That is somebody who really is not all in on you when they start to put you down. And that's a red flag, you guys, and especially in the beginning. If you're dating somebody and they're putting you down in the beginning, it doesn't get better as it goes on, okay? Then they're going to really show their teeth and you're really going to see them for who they are. So that's why I tell you, you need somebody who's kind and understanding because, in life, you're going to have, struggles that you go through. Everybody goes through in their life. Everybody's struggles are different. So you want somebody that, is not going to fold on you, that's going to be there for the hard times. So, that's a great way to see when you're going through something, if this person is there for you emotionally. Okay? That's another sign whether somebody's into you or somebody's really not into you, in which case, if they're not really into you, you shouldn't waste your time. Now, another thing I need to bring up is this. If you're dealing with people that you like and you're attracted to, okay, but you feel like, they're not committing to you or it's not really going anywhere and you don't know what's going on, you feel like they're into you, but you're not sure and everything like that, you most definitely better be talking to other people if you're not in a committed relationship, all right? Because if you don't talk to other people, you are setting yourself up for disaster. Because if this person is showing you and you feel it in your gut that they're really not, pushing for anything more with you, then what are you doing there? What are you doing there? A lot, and especially with women and men, they sit there and in hopes, they sit there waiting, like, they're getting the greatest prize in the world, all right? Value yourself and who you are, okay? They should be worried about, proving to you that, they're good enough for you, not that you have to sit there and hope, pick me. No, okay? You want somebody that you don't have to fight to like you. You pick people that like you. You don't pick people that you have to convince to like you. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to give you guys one of the most important tips that I could give you from my experience, which, believe me when I tell you, I've been through, I'm not going to say I've been through it all, but I've been through a lot, okay, is this. When you're out there and you're dating and everything like that, the people that you pick, you got to look at them and see what are their options. Are they a very good-looking person? In which case they have a lot of options, especially in the beginning, because we know in the beginning it's all about the physical attraction. That's the initial. And then you move into the deeper emotional side, and, you also see, how compatible you guys really are. But initially, the first thing that attracts people is, what they look like. Am I attracted to this person? The first thing we look at is a picture, right? And especially if you're online and you're meeting people that way. Now, the other thing that I need to tell you with regard to that is this. If you pick somebody, and again, I've said this numerous times in other podcasts, if you pick somebody who's, let's say, we're talking, women to men this time, but it could go the other way around, men to women, or, partner to partner. If you pick somebody who is very self-centered, very selfish, very anal, okay? I'm going to call them the attention whore, all right? You guys gotta go listen to my podcast on attention whores when I talk about these kind of people, all right? These are people that love themselves. These are people that are posting the pictures, with the shirt off and flexing and staring at themselves in the mirror. And, they just can't add enough, women on their social media, and it's not for their hustle, okay? It's one thing if somebody's doing that for their hustle, which means, making money somehow, whatever it could be. But if they're just doing it for their own ego and you get involved with somebody that's self-centered, there's not, like I said, there's nothing wrong with looking good. But if you deal with somebody who's so in love with themselves, you are going to have a nightmare of a person to deal with, because this person is an attention whore. And you know what's really funny about this? I just heard about a major dating coach that's on, a major YouTube dating coach. They were saying he was allegedly, and I want to add allegedly, okay, cheating on his wife. Very good looking guy, very good body, everything, good looking guy who's coaching to women and telling women, oh, you got to avoid this guy or you got to avoid that guy and everything like that. And a lot of women were saying things like, oh, I can't believe it. A lot of women, they follow him because he's a good looking guy and, everything like that. And I'm like saying to myself, of course he's probably cheating on his wife, because he's very, he's always posting pictures of himself at the gym, like proud of who he is and looking for that attention. And, there you go. He's got to have that attention. He's got to have that attention. Somebody like that, you guys, in most cases, not all cases, there's always exceptions to the rule, but somebody who's in love with themselves, they have to have a certain, look, that swag look. They're trying to look swag, and they're already in a relationship. They're trying to attract, okay? And it's not just to impress, their girlfriends or wives, because they already have their girlfriends and wives. And it's not just to impress themselves. It's to impress other people, because they need that ego boost. They need that validation. They like that outside attention that they get. That is somebody that is going to be very hard to lock down. And if you do lock them down, you're going to have to worry all the time where that person is. I saw that on The Housewives with one of the housewives. She had a good looking husband and everything like that. He disappeared on her for a couple of days and, comes back and acts like nothing. All right. So, that's, this is what you're dealing with. But the point I'm trying to make is a lot of these women, they don't say nothing. They don't do anything. They're still there. They're still there. Okay? This is the problem. The problem is that you're still hanging around with people that aren't all into you. Why? Let them go. Don't be afraid. They're not the end all. There'll always be another around the corner if you leave yourself open and you make the effort. Don't just hang on to somebody because you don't want to start over. You're wasting your time. Okay? Like I had a girlfriend, she was dating somebody. She had met him off one of the dating sites. And he showed her a little attention, but not a lot of attention. Like after she started talking to him, she saw he was still on POF. Okay? And she's saying to herself, he's still on POF. He must not really be into him. But she continued to date him. And guess what? After she dated him a few months, she found out he was seeing other women on the side. Surprise, 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 surprise. And that's another clue that I want to bring up as well. When somebody who's not really interested in you, you're going to see them still on the dating apps. Some of them just can't get away from that's why I tell you, don't even waste your time with the dating apps, okay? Unless you have a lot of time to waste. I mean, you could find people, but the fraction of people that are really sincere in meeting somebody is so small, you guys, so small. Most of those people, they're there for game. Believe me when I tell you, my guy friends, they laugh all the time about the dating apps. I ask them all the time. I ask all of them. And believe me, I have a lot of male friends. And I'm always like, you don't think you can meet anybody on the dating apps? And they all start laughing, okay? Because they know it's game. They know it's game. They're like, no. And then they tell me, tell your friends, get off those things. Those guys are not there for the right reasons. Now, I'm not saying there couldn't be some guys that are there for the right reasons, but a large percentage aren't. And it's all a matter if you have that time to waste and deal with the whole, weeding through business, okay? So I hope that helps you. And if it did, please hit the subscribe button and share. And remember this, you guys, when it's right, you won't have to question it. And when it's not right, you're going to be in the dark and not know what's going on. That's a red flag. And that means that you still have to you still have to be talking to other people if you haven't started already. And, you need to back off from somebody who's not showing you enough. Okay? I hope that helps you. If it did, hit the subscribe button, share. If you guys have any topics you want me to podcast on, send it to my email, askyaz909@gmail.com, okay? And have a great day. Are you having a problem in your dating or relationship life and you need a question answered? Well, go to my website. The link is in the podcast description, and you'll see how you can ask Yaz a question and get it answered confidentially. So go to the podcast description and look for the link where it talks about how Yaz will answer your question. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz. I want to tell you about my 2 books that are on Amazon, okay? You can download them free with the trial membership from Kindle. The first book is Regain Your Power. If you're in a relationship and you feel like your partner has all the control in the relationship, maybe you're walking around on eggshells, you're afraid to approach them, it's going to tell you how to regain your power and be happy in the relationship, okay? And what you may be doing wrong, and that's why your partner has all the control in the relationship. The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time. There's a lot of people that are dating someone or in a relationship with somebody who's not really vested in the relationship. And we often are confused as to whether our partner really likes us or is into us or wants a future with us. And this book is going to give you signs and red flags of whether your partner is into you or he's just basically drifting and wasting your time. So go to Amazon and download the Kindle free trial membership. Doesn't cost you anything. And check it out. It may help you. Okay? And have a great day. Audible is offering listeners a 30-day trial. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free 30-day trial. You get to select any book that you want on there and listen to it. They have books on there about breadcrumbing, love bombing, why did they lose interest, dating, relationship, any kind of book you're interested in and want to learn about, okay? You could listen to it in your car or if you're on the bus or the train. So go to my podcast description for the link at tinyurl.com/AskYazNow and start your free trial.